Alrighty, Pi Nation, I am excited to be here with you guys. It is G Money speaking to you live from DT6 headquarters along with
Seabass. What's up, guys?
I got the one and only Sebastian here, one of the best project acquisition coordinators out there, the man, the myth, the legend that knows anything and everything about PyLab. And so that is what is going to be the main focus today, that we kind of explore and educate everybody on. Just want to reiterate the purpose of these Pyeducation lessons. Obviously, as you know, there will be at least one more. We'll see how everybody's, retaining the information next week, and then following, the last lesson, either that's lesson 3 next week or maybe even a 4th lesson, there will be a Discord quiz that will be released, and you will take that quiz to earn your Pyeducator role inside of Discord. Lots and lots of exciting things to come with that. So let's go ahead and just start. Like I said, we really want to get into PyLab. And last week, if you were able to join us, and if not, you can check us out on Spotify as well as the written Medium article. But last week, we really went over more SWAP 2.0. What is SWAP 2.0? How it's changing DeFi, and really how to discuss the technology, because it is new, it's revolutionary, and it hasn't been done in the tech space. So, as I kind of mentioned in the beginning here, the goal is to really arm you guys, arm the community, and all of Pi Nation, being able to hear the language from DT6, the developers, the team behind the project, and how we're speaking about the project. That way, when you guys are out in the fields and doing your part, promoting, talking, and digesting all of this, kind of the route to take it.
Exactly. And, having the right vocabulary and knowing the right things to say and saying them in a way that is developer friendly is such a needed skill, especially as we're, starting off with our B2B engagement strategies that we're pushing on Twitter now. Just the more people that are speaking the way that, people understand more easily, the better. And so it's just going to, something that'll benefit all of us in the long term. And today we're going to be focusing on PyLabs a bit. I think that you had a couple of, smaller questions about PyLab, G.
Yeah, before I jump into that, obviously, look, to give you some background knowledge on PyLab, and obviously formerly known as Moonforce, but the purpose of, the Launchpad tech, the platform itself, we saw 2 major problems in the crypto space overall, and those problems being, one, poor crypto marketing. Obviously it's pretty hard to track. On Web 2, you can track through Facebook pixels and you can kind of see the data that your ads are bringing back. But in crypto, it hasn't been done. It's not out there. So it makes it almost like, unknown what your return is when you're spending money on influencers or, BTalk ads, whatever it may be. But there's no true way to really, kind of track that. So again, step 1, or problem 1 being the poor crypto marketing, but second of all, a lack of investor interest due to fear of being scammed. Scams are really prevalent in the crypto space. Obviously, we all know. It's important to be careful with your seed phrase. Protect your information online in this decentralized world. But that fear of being scammed has kind of also hindered investor relations in many projects, and that kind of is a downside to project health overall. So the 2 solutions that kind of PyLab brings is one, it's founded with that network of best-in-class marketing partners. Obviously, DT6's background is very, very heavy in marketing. Growing one of the biggest event companies nationwide across the U.S. With verified influencers, communities, and developers to help projects reach their full potential. And as well as, when speaking back to the lack of investor interest due to fear, our certification process, which Sebastian's going to really touch on here in this education lesson, it's a rigorous certification process that ensures that we're getting the best projects into the SWAP 2.0 ecosystem. So, obviously we know SWAP 2.0, we talked about it last week, but PyLab is that exclusive launch pad. It's the gateway into SWAP 2.0 where contracts never have to sell again. So, if you were able to join us last week, what we're going to do before we kind of jump into talking about PyLab and giving you some information, just kind of some rundown lingo, Sebastian's got a couple questions here, and the first person that can answer the question and put it in the PyLounge chat, the first person to get the correct answer will be selected to win $25 of BNB. So Sebastian, why don't you go kick it off and let's see what they remember.
Yeah, remember, this is the first person to get the correct answer in the Pi Lounge chat. So the first question that we've got for you guys today is, how do Swap 2.0 routers handle the transactions and fees? Now, okay, that question again, how do Swap 2.0 routers handle the transactions and fees?
Okay, takes fees and B&B from Craig, but a little bit more specific because it's not just Binance.
Mm-hmm.
So what is
Little
Swap
more
2.0
broad.
overall? It's close. Who's going to get it?
That is one of the ones it gets taken out in, but what there's a term for.
Native token. Okay. What about the native? What about the native token though?
I need a
I need
full
a full answer from somebody. It's coming down. I see it. Woo! The taxes are taken in that native token. That is correct. So, obviously, like we kind of touched on last week, the big thing that we see in the DeFi space are these, unauthentic markets. Their project charts are getting hurt when the contracts collecting those project tokens from the taxes, collecting them in the buckets, and then dumping them on the project. So, Swap 2.0, again, the routers itself takes it in that native coin, not token, but coin. So there we go for number one. We got one final question here for $25 at B&B. Let's see, Sebastian, you read that out to him. Let me know.
Yeah, next question is, what benefit does this give to tokens that utilize Swap 2.0? So what benefit do the transactions being taken out in the native asset, what benefit does that give to tokens that utilize Swap 2.0?
Seeing healthy chart, okay. Chart, yeah. You happy with that answer, Sebastian? You looking for a little bit more? Let us know.
Looking for a little bit more. Healthy chart is close. Doesn't cause sells. It's also accurate.
Authentic market. Okay.
I think we got the answer right there with Subon right there. The contract never has to sell, resulting in net positive impacts on the project's chart. That's it right there.
Let's go, baby.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Alrighty. There we go. So we got, obviously you guys paid attention last week. That makes us happy. We put some time into our curriculum here. Felt like I was, getting in my teacher vibes, put on some glasses and got this out. So I'm glad that everybody's paying attention. We got our two winners there. I'll be reaching out to you here shortly after the lesson is over. Wait for class to be dismissed and just stay after. But look, so as we know, PyLab is set up for these project creators or these developers to come and launch their token all by themselves via the platform using the token creator. And that's a big piece, obviously, of creating a pre-sale. So, if they choose to become a certified project, they can either go directly through us and get better rates on the war room for their projects that they're creating, or they can come in and just immediately launch and not have to be a certified project. And Sebastian, could you kind of break down the difference between being a certified and being a non-certified
of course.
project?
And one thing too, let's just back up real quick and just, put this out there that Moonforce as a platform is supposed to be as self-serve as possible, right? Where if you have had no idea who Dev Team 6 is, but you just see the Moonforce website, well, ideally, you should be able to have access to all the functions and functionality that the platform can offer just by doing it yourself. You don't have to contact Dev Team 6 to be able to, create a token on there, right? Now, for the difference between certified and non-certified projects is the difference between, just helping yourself and getting a little bit of assistance from the Dev Team 6 team, right? So for all certified projects, it normally starts with an application. They'll give us some information about the project, their team, what the project's about, their tokenomics, a lot of that information. They'll have their token contract, all that info gets sent over. After we review all that information, we'll do some, quality control checks. We'll chat with a couple of the members here at the Dev Team 6 team, see what we really think. And then what we'll do is take the project through a KYC process, which if you're not sure what that means, KYC, know your customer. Just make sure that every project that we have a copy of their personally identifiable information in case there's ever any signs of fraud or bad act or malfeasance going on, any potential scams. It gives us the leverage to be able to protect our investors' investments into these projects by having this identifiable information that we can go and then target if a scam occurs or something like that. After a KYC is completed, they'll have to go through a token audit, which is where a team of auditors will review the code line by line, checking to make sure that there's no exploits or bugs or issues that can be taken advantage of after the token launches. And they also receive access to our, marketing tools as well. So we'll be able to assist them in a couple different ways with, different strategies and different engagement methods to try and market the launch of their, token project. As opposed to non-certified projects, not saying that, someone who doesn't want to certify is, obviously going to scam or something. Of course, you're going to have people that just choose not to certify for, X, Y, and Z reason. But it is an option that's available to every project that they can contact us, go through the process, just to get that certification badge on there and just to promote that trust and authenticity just a little bit better. So that's kind of the difference between a non-certified project and our certification guideline of how a project will go through that pipeline, and some of the differences that it means too for certified versus non-certified projects. One of the biggest features that we're excited to start offering for our projects that will be performing self-serve actions is the token creator. And the token creator is a way to create and mint tokens right there on the fly and using Swap 2.0 technology, no code necessary. So it'll already be a safer contract than anything else that you would just naturally add onto the platform itself. And one of the amazing features of this token minter and the token creator is that you can have tokens that will auto buy back with Swap 2.0 technology. So that means that every tax and fee that gets collected in that paired asset, well, it'll get spent on buybacks and auto buybacks using that paired asset, not the native token, causing more long-term growth rather than sells.
Yeah. No, so it's a huge piece. Obviously, one being the token creator, it gives you that auto buyback with the Swap 2.0, but also, moreover, that general view, those certified projects go through a really rigorous vetting process. So you're getting some of the best of the best, ensuring that everything looks good to go. So the project does have a successful launch and a very successful long-term health overall as it continues to develop. Because obviously, again, with Swap 2.0, by not having project tokens sold on your chart, you're creating a positive impact over a long term with your project. So great way to kind of verify your team. We've had many come through that certification process, and it's always being refined and getting even better to make sure that we are as safe as possible in the Web3 space. You can't ever be too safe. But obviously, look, what would make a project, certified or uncertified, what would make a project, what draws a project in? We talked a little bit about bad marketing being a big problem in the space, but what is something that PyLab, I know they got something, but what is it that really draws in a project for marketing aspects, Sebastian?
Yeah, of course. So the number one thing for marketing that you have to remember, and G spoke about this at the beginning of this educational session, is that a lot of cryptocurrency marketing right now, it's done via a black box where I will put $500 into this one marketing strategy, but I do not get the data from that. I'm not sure if the results that I see in my project are actually from that marketing activity, or it could be something completely unrelated that I had no idea about. There's no real data that you can actually use to track your return on ad spend, which is one of the most important, things in all of marketing. Is you want to know how much money you get back for the advertising dollars that you spend. Now, DevTeam 6 and PyLab, we are going to have a feature. It is our marketing pixel. And this is an amazing tool. It is basically the Google Analytics, but for cryptocurrency, where you get a bunch of metrics from your advertising spending, and you're able to view them as a token creator and see what metrics or what platforms are giving you the best results for your advertising dollars. So let's say you have two different marketing avenues, one on Facebook, one on Twitter, and you put an equal amount of money into both of them. Well, maybe you look at the data at first and see that Facebook has more conversions, more people purchased through your Facebook marketing rather than your Twitter marketing. But then you look at the data again and you find that, well, actually, the Twitter conversions, even though there might have been a fewer amount of people clicking that buy button on Twitter, it was actually a much higher amount of the purchase than people on Facebook were doing. So this marketing pixel really opens up the game for project developers developers to be able to see what marketing avenues are going to be best for their project. It's going to be, it just opens up the floodgates and allowing them to truly see what is most effective. Now, on top of the marketing pixel, we also have the token control panel, which is going to serve as more analytics for your token as well, where you see the top 100 holders, the top 100 wallets. Are they, adding to their investments? Are they subtracting from their investments? You get to see the different paths of the volume of your token as it grows over time. And then you also have the influencer developer marketplace, which one of the biggest issues for projects right now is they will get contacted by an influencer who says, hey, I've got 1,000 followers. I'd love to promote your brand. And they send over some B&B and nothing ever happens. Or it turns out that the influencer has a bunch of bot accounts or XYZ, where there's just something that wasn't really being, the influencer was being 100% honest with the project owners. Now, with our influencer and developer marketplace, all the data that gets collected from the marketing pixel is available in that marketplace, so that project creators will be able to easily see that, hey, this influencer did this marketing operation for these projects and it worked really well. I want to use this guy again for our marketing operations.
Yeah, no, it's a huge piece for the overall transparency in the Web3 space. So having that is valuable, because you see a lot of people out there, and I'll name one, BitBoy Crypto, for example. Not all of his followers are organic, and if you don't know that, or you don't know where to look, how else are you going to know until you pay the $5,000 deposit to get an ad run from him, and then you didn't generate anything but a couple of bots. So having that transparency in these marketplaces, not only for the influencers and developers, but also community. There'll be a community marketplace where projects can pick up, moderators, community managers, leaders, advisors to pick up projects, and all of these, users, the influencers, and as well as these community leaders and stuff. They'll also have, these ranking scores that kind of let you know the feedback, and there will be real-time feedback coming in from the, projects and developers that are using them in the past. So you can kind of take a review, almost like if you're going to Yelp, for a specific community manager, like, hey, this is, some of his strong points, his weak points, this is how he performed for us. So, really creating the transparency. Obviously, we're creating that authentic market with Swap 2.0, and that's great. That's the first big step to changing DeFi and overall crypto, but let's look at the bigger picture. We got to break into transparency. We got to be open and really see it all. So wonderful pieces to all of it. The marketing pixel is going to be a huge win. It's on our roadmap here in Q3. If you haven't seen the roadmap yet, you can go to our room channels and look for roadmap. It'll have everything there for you as well. But I'm not sure if we got too deep into this, Sebastian, but it would be nice to kind of go over the token control panel and what that looks like for projects coming on to PyLab.
Yeah, so the token control panel, it's going to be a panel for projects that do launch with PyLab. Once you start to import all of your data for your project token, and once the launch takes place, that's when you really see all the information, the analytics about your token. So that's where a lot of that data will get piped in through the marketing pixel. You'll also get a lot of the data about different trends over time. So you'll have a lot of different custom settings that you'll be able to set for different holders, different amounts, different transactions. You'll be able to have like a really advanced filtering system in there, so you're able to target specific transactions. And then you also just gain a broader access to a lot of the other war room tools that are going to be made available.
It's not war room. It's going to be the lab.
The lab.
So
sorry,
we're in PyLab.
We did a little rebrand there. Sorry, missed that. But yeah, so in the lab, there are going to be a couple of additional features that are rolling out in the V2, V3, V4 that will all plug into the token control panel as well. So when you think token control panel, imagine that as the Google Analytics of crypto. That's going to be the hub of all of your information. That's going to be your main point of contact as a project owner and a project developer, of being able to manage and track in real time all the analytics for your token.
Yeah. Wonderful. So, really breaking down PyLab, what it was created for, what its intended use for, is, and let alone also its potential for all of these future projects, kind of coming into the space. Look, one, they're obviously coming to SWAP 2.0. To prevent these big sells they're seeing from the contracts. As many devs have shared with us over here at Dev Team 6, it's hard to keep the momentum going when the contract is constantly selling, when you have tokenomics. When you're taking your taxes in those project tokens, you're dumping them, it makes it hard to really kind of get that traction. So, a lot of those developers and projects, really flock to SWAP 2.0. They love the idea, they love the tech and how revolutionary it is. Well, great. Here's SWAP 2.0, and here's how you can get into it with PyLab. And literally from a few click step. You go through the token creator, a couple of clicks through, you choose, almost like you're in a fashion mall. You get to choose your makeup, your clothes, and everything for your token. Create it, mint it right there, and then get going. Schedule your pre-sale. Have your token control panel so you can kind of view all your metrics, your datas. And then again, launch into SWAP 2.0. And the unique thing about PyLab as well is it's almost like a portfolio builder. And so we're obviously aware of the tiers, but Sebastian, could you kind of just break up as well, where the portfolio building comes in? Because obviously 2% of these project tokens that launch through PyLab are reflected back into these Pi holders. So what does that look like for them?
Yeah, of course. Well, it's over time. The more projects that come through the Moonforce pipeline, the more options that you have as a holder of Pi to add to your portfolio. Every single project that comes through will have a 2% allocation that you can then claim after the fact. And I know that I claimed my initial Magic allocation, but as more and more projects come through, you'll find that you have more opportunities to claim, these different project tokens. And over time, what that allows you to do too is really benefit from the ecosystem of PySwap, because you have all these amazing projects that are going to be coming through the gateway, trading on PySwap, and you are able to get a little piece of it just by holding the keys to the kingdom, the Pi token itself, which really benefits long-term holding, long-term investment, which is something that we really try and strive for here over at Dev Team 6.
100%. So look, one of the only ways to really launch into SWAP 2.0 technology, PyLab. If you haven't seen the full redesign of PyLab, you can go over to app.moonforce.com. We're working on the rebranding now. You will see, obviously, if you hadn't seen PySwap, its homepage was pushed live today with its redesign. Our development team is actually currently working through the interior pages. We're looking to get that pushed out as soon as possible. Obviously, we need these platforms looking in tip-top shape before we can really go out and promote this to every corner of the world. Seriously, when the world starts seeing that this is the first ever decentralized exchange with truly authentic markets, it's a huge game changer. And when you guys see obviously just the homepage today, I hope it gives you a good feeling of where we're going, where we're taking the project and the team. It's time to level it up, take it to that next level. No more cartoons. You've seen the PySwap logo. If you go to PySwap.com, the rebranded logo is there. It's go mode. We are working seriously, diligently in the office, day in, day out, getting things done, making the right moves to set this up to really be massively adopted across the world, across the crypto space. So look, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in for our Pyeducation Lesson 2. Again, if you missed Lesson 1, you missed out on some great information about SWAP 2.0 technology. Head over to our DT6 Medium. You can check out our official links room for that link. You can also find this recording of Lesson 1 on YouTube. We'll be uploading the Lesson 2 that we just had here with everybody as well on YouTube shortly today. And of course, next week you will see us back here at the same time, 3 o'clock PST on Tuesday for another Pyeducation Lesson 3. Sebastian, is there anything you want to let the people know before we jump out of here?
Just that I feel pretty pie-educated. What about you, G?
I'm feeling educated. I'm feeling hungry now, though. I'm going to have to go get a pie. So, guys, look, have a great rest of your Taco Tuesdays. Make sure you get some pie in. Every day is Pie Day. And we will see you on the next one.
Ciao.